The larger man spotted our car with the hood up and let out a low whistle as he walked closer with his friend trailing behind him. His face was red from the heat or the alcohol, maybe both, and the way his eyes lingered on me instantly made my skin crawl. Sam noticed it too. He straightened from the engine bay slowly, wiping grease from his hands while keeping his body positioned between me and the strangers. "Looks like you folks got yourselves stranded," the larger man said with a grin that felt more threatening than friendly. "Need some help out here?" "We are fine," Sam answered before I could say anything. "Just finishing repairs." The second guy laughed under his breath and nudged his friend. "Fine might be pushing it. That radiator looks cooked." I stepped closer to Sam without even realizing I was doing it. The dessert suddenly felt a lot less empty in a peaceful way and a lot more empty in a dangerous one. The gas station attendant had disappeared inside, and Rosa had already driven back to her scrapyard. We were alone except for these two men and the endless highway baking under the afternoon sun. The bigger man kept staring at me. "Well, if your boyfriend cannot fix it, we got room in the truck, could take you someplace cooler." Sam did not even blink. I said we are fine. Something in his tone must have gotten through because the man smirked and raised his hands in mock surrender. "Relax, buddy, just being neighborly, no need to get territorial." The second guy laughed again, but this time there was an ugly edge to it. The two of them eventually wandered into the gas station, leaving behind the smell of beer and cigarette smoke. I let out a shaky breath I did not realize I had been holding. Sam immediately closed the hood halfway and lowered his voice. "We are leaving as soon as this thing runs. I do not care if we only make it 5 miles. I do not want to stay here after dark." That fear in his voice hit me harder than the creepy men had. Sam was calm in every situation. Even when my engine exploded in the middle of the desert, he stayed focused. Hearing genuine concern in his tone made me realize how vulnerable we actually were. "How much longer?" I asked quietly. 20 minutes if nothing else goes wrong." I nodded and sat on the curb beside the car while he continued working. My phone buzzed again, but this time I almost did not want to look. Every message from my boyfriend somehow managed to make me feel worse instead of better. Finally, curiosity won. I opened the latest text. "You are seriously ruining this week for both of us." I stared at the screen in disbelief. Not ruining the trip, not worried sick, not asking if I was safe. I was ruining his week. Another text appeared immediately after, and honestly, this whole thing with Sam is starting to feel weird. Something inside me finally cracked. For months, maybe years, I had defended this man to everyone around me. Whenever my friends pointed out how selfish he was, I explained it away. He is stressed from work, he just struggles with emotions. He grew up in a difficult household. I had spent so much energy convincing myself that bare minimum effort was love that I stopped recognizing what actual care looked like. And now, sitting in a dying desert town while Sam practically rebuilt my car from scrap metal, my boyfriend was accusing me of being weird with the one person actually helping me survive this disaster. Sam finally slammed the hood shut and exhaled deeply. "Okay, moment of truth." He climbed into the driver's seat while I held my breath. The engine sputtered once, coughed violently, then roared to life. It sounded rough, but stable. Sam watched the gauges carefully for almost a full minute before nodding. "I think we got it." Relief flooded through me so suddenly my eyes stung with tears. "Seriously? Seriously?" He looked exhausted, sweaty, and covered in grease from head to toe. But he smiled anyway. "We should head north while there is still daylight. There is a larger town about an hour away. We can get a motel and find a real mechanic tomorrow." I climbed into the passenger seat while Sam packed away his tools. The two drunk men were still inside the gas station watching us through the window. I did not say anything, but Sam noticed because he locked the doors immediately after getting in. The repaired engine groaned as we pulled onto the highway again, but it held steady. The farther we got from Desert Springs, the easier it became to breathe. For a long time neither of us spoke. The desert stretched endlessly around us in shades of gold and orange as the sun slowly began to sink lower in the sky. Hot wind rushed through the open windows, carrying dust and the smell of dry earth. Then Sam finally broke the silence. "You know I am in love with you, right?" The words hit me so hard I actually forgot to breathe for a second. He kept his eyes on the road as if saying it out loud terrified him. "I did not plan on telling you like this, especially not today. But after listening to him talk to you like that and watching you apologize for needing basic human decency, I could not keep pretending anymore." My heart pounded painfully in my chest. "Sam ... You do not have to say anything." He tightened his grip on the wheel. "I know you are with someone else. I know timing sucks. but I needed you to know the truth because watching him treat you like an inconvenience is driving me insane." I stared at him in stunned silence. Every memory from the last 3 years suddenly replayed in my head differently. Every late-night phone call, every time he showed up without hesitation, every small thoughtful thing I had somehow convinced myself was just friendship. The way he always remembered tiny details about me, the way he noticed when I was upset before I even said a word, the way he looked at me when he thought I was not paying attention. "Oh my God, I whispered before stopping myself. "You do not owe me anything," he said quickly, seriously. "I just needed to stop lying about it. But I think I might love you too." The words came out so softly I barely heard them myself. Sam looked at me so fast the car drifted slightly before he corrected it. "What?" I laughed nervously, tears suddenly spilling down my cheeks. I said I think I might love you too. For a second neither of us spoke. Then Sam smiled in a way I had never seen before. Not his usual teasing grin or sarcastic smirk. This was different, softer, vulnerable, almost disbelieving. And somehow that scared me more than anything because deep down I realized it felt right. Not dramatic, not confusing, just right. My phone started ringing again, shattering the moment. My boyfriend's name flashed across the screen for the 20th time that day. I looked at it for several seconds before answering. Finally, he snapped immediately. "Are you done throwing your little tantrum?" I stared out the window at the desert rushing past us. "You lied to me." "What are you talking about? You said you were stuck in meetings all afternoon. But you were out having lunch with your friends while I was stranded." There was a pause, then his tone changed instantly into annoyance. "Are you seriously tracking my schedule right now? You ignored me. I was busy." "No, you just did not care." He scoffed loudly. "Oh please, stop acting helpless. You had Sam there the entire time." The anger I had been swallowing all day finally exploded. Yes, thank God I had Sam there because otherwise I would have been completely alone while my boyfriend worried about dinner reservations and gossip instead of whether I was safe. "You are being dramatic again." "No, I am finally being honest." Silence filled the line. Then he laughed coldly. "Wow. So this is what this is really about, you and Sam." I looked over at Sam, who immediately started shaking his head slightly like he did not want to influence me. But suddenly everything felt painfully clear. "You know what?" I said slowly. "Maybe it is." Another silence. Then his voice turned sharp. "Are you kidding me right now? I should have ended this a long time ago." I swallowed hard as emotion tightened my throat. "I spent years begging you to care about me the way a partner should, and you never did. But the second another person treats me with basic kindness, you act threatened by it. So that is it. You are dumping me in the middle of some road trip." "No, I am finally choosing myself." He started yelling then, accusing me of embarrassing him, humiliating him, proving everyone right about women being impossible to trust. I pulled the phone away from my ear and listened to him rant for almost 30 seconds before calmly ending the call. Then I blocked his number. Just like that. The silence afterward felt unreal. Sam glanced at me carefully. "You okay?" I looked down at my shaking hands and let out a breath that felt trapped in my chest for years. "Yeah. Actually, yeah." The sky turned deep orange as we continued north through the desert. For the first time all day, I felt calm. Not because the situation was fixed, not because life suddenly became perfect, but because I was finally seeing things clearly. We reached the next town just after sunset. Compared to Desert Springs, it felt massive. There was an actual motel, a diner, streetlights, and people walking around. Civilization had never looked so beautiful. The motel only had one room left with 2 beds. Sam awkwardly offered to sleep in the car, which was ridiculous considering he had basically saved us both from dying of heat stroke. Inside the room, he immediately showered first because he was covered in grease and coolant. When he came out wearing sweatpants and a faded t-shirt, his hair damp from the shower, he looked strangely shy all of a sudden. I realized then that Sam had probably been hiding his feelings for a very long time. We ordered terrible diner food and sat on opposite beds eating burgers while an old sitcom played quietly on the television. Everything suddenly felt weirdly normal after the chaos of the day. Then Sam looked at me carefully. "So what happens now?" I set down my fries slowly. "I do not know." And it was the truth. I had ended a 3-year relationship only hours earlier. My entire emotional world had shifted in one afternoon. Part of me still felt numb from it. Sam nodded like he understood completely. "Whatever happens, no pressure." I meant what I said earlier. You do not owe me anything. That right there almost made me cry again, because that was the difference. My ex always treated love like a transaction. Like affection had conditions attached to it. Like helping me somehow made me indebted to him. But Sam loved me freely, patiently, quietly. I fell asleep that night staring at the ceiling while replaying everything that had happened. The breakdown, the fear, the phone calls, the confession. And somewhere around 3 in the morning, I realized something terrifying. I could not remember the last time my boyfriend made me feel safe. But Sam had made me feel safe all day. The next morning, we took the car to a mechanic who confirmed Sam had basically performed a miracle with junkyard parts and duct tape. The older mechanic spent 10 straight minutes praising the temporary repair while Sam looked embarrassed by the attention. Meanwhile, my phone had exploded overnight. Voicemails, texts from mutual friends, messages from my ex ranging from angry to pathetic to manipulative. One voicemail actually said, "I cannot believe you are doing this to me over a car problem." Over a car problem. That sentence alone told me everything I needed to know. It was never about the car. It was about discovering who someone becomes when things stop being easy. Anyone can act loving during vacations, date nights, and Instagram photos. Real character shows up when things go wrong. When life gets inconvenient. When someone actually needs you. And my ex failed that test spectacularly. Sam and I stayed in town another day while the mechanic completed repairs. We walked through little tourist shops, ate pancakes at a diner, and talked more honestly than we ever had before. At one point, while wandering through a tiny bookstore, Sam admitted he almost told me how he felt 6 months earlier when I cried after another fight with my boyfriend. "Why did you not?" I asked. "Because you loved him?" He shrugged slightly. "And I would rather stay your friend forever than lose you completely." That answer broke something open inside me. By the time we finally got back on the road the following afternoon, everything between us had changed. Not in some dramatic movie way where we suddenly kissed under fireworks and lived happily ever after. It was quieter than that, more real. His hand brushed mine while shifting gears, and neither of us pulled away. We shared long looks that said things words could not. For the first time in years, I felt emotionally safe with someone. 3 months later, Sam officially became my boyfriend. A year after that, we moved in together. Sometimes people ask me when I knew I was in love with him. Was it when he confessed? When he fixed my car? When he proposed? But honestly, it was earlier than all of that. It was the moment those drunk men pulled into the gas station, and I instinctively moved closer to Sam because somewhere deep down, I already knew he was the safest place in my world. Funny enough, the worst day of my old relationship became the first day of the best thing that ever happened to me.